Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Kingdom Family Talks. Today we're going to be talking about Pakistan, the Loving Muslims on Purpose movement that we have. It's going to be really nice to hear a fresh update of what's been going on in Pakistan. You go at least once or twice a year. We have a vibrant Kingdom Family movement in Pakistan and Afghanistan that is spreading across the Middle East and the Near East. And I am just so excited to hear about some of the relief efforts that GMA has been involved in this year in helping Pakistanis. Like, for example, over the summer, there were historic floods in Pakistan that, millions were displaced from their homes. Like, I was just watching a video last night, and the housing that was underwater was basically the size of a small country, like of Qatar or a smaller Middle Eastern country, was completely underwater in Afghanistan. And now they're in the rebuilding stages as the water recedes, and so many people have no homes. So part of what Global Mission Awareness does in Pakistan is that we provide relief for those families. And I would love to hear from you exactly what happened with those floods. Like, what are we doing there to help them?
Yeah, and I would first of all say I don't think it has been our specialty, or we have been involved in relief before. But one of the things our calling has been is to disciple nations. Yeah. One of our calling has been is to be able to be ambassadors of love and to represent the King in different situations. So when this catastrophe hit, and it was one of those moments you kind of are tired, and finally we're going to have a little time of rest, and then the next morning 30-some million people get hit by the worst flood ever. And it is, somebody just asked me the other day and said, does this make a difference? And I told them, well, the difference it is, if you see this one guy who is walking on the beach and there's millions of fish that is laying there and is just breathing and is dying on the beach. And this guy's looking at me, this is so devastating, and he's just, he feels so nauseated by watching that, and there's nothing I can do. But then you look, there's somebody else, and he's just throwing one fish after the other in water, and he just continue. Later on, 8 hours later, he still see the guy, and finally he goes up to the guy and says, excuse me, sir, but why are you doing it? I mean, this is not going to make any difference. And he says, well, it's going to make a difference for this one. And I feel that's kind of the picture of that family, that one. And so when all of this devastation, we cannot do something for over 30 million people, and I know it's a worldwide effort, but we can choose to do something. And sometimes we get so overwhelmed by everything that we do nothing. And doing nothing is probably one of the most dangerous things. So we automatically say, okay, what can we do? How can we join you? The hard thing for me was I have so many relationships, and everyone had families and friends that was drowning, that died, that lost their homes. It was everywhere, yeah. So I had everyone want to come and help us here. And it was more also for us to work with some of the relationships that we have brought to our churches to help our brothers and sisters. So we did that through Marcus Vida, but also working with a granny mom who had people on the ground all over, all the way from Afghanistan to the border, everywhere. So we worked together with those relationships, and quickly our people that are so faithful came in. We had actually some of the churches that had already given some funds. So we started to empty some of those funds, but also people started to give into it. We took even out of a little savings that we have. We just started to make sure, let's make sure right now. We cannot wait for a couple of months, or tomorrow they need food. Tomorrow they need. So we did everything from helping to have tents for people that didn't have home, to get food, to get medicine, and we got involved. And the pictures that came in was just incredible, and the stories and the testimonies. So we know at least for a fact that we helped 1,000 families to survive through this whole thing. And people say, what does that compare to 33 million? Well, there's at least 1,000 families now that have experienced the goodness and the kindness and the love of God. Yes. And another thousands and thousands that are experiencing a taste and see how good God is, because many of us, we came together and says, that one, we're going to make a difference, and that one, and that one. And we have had now, I think it's 4 rounds we've done. So then something else came in, and so we continue, and it is not over yet, because now we still have about over 6 million people. They need new homes, and rebuilding the homes, and there's nothing. So we get to rebuild people's lives. So many of these catastrophe. We had the same in Afghanistan right before with the earthquake, and what happened in Ukraine. We had an opportunity to be involved. We were involved now in what's happening in Cuba, and we've been involved with Haiti in what's happening there in Mozambique. So I'm realizing that in the middle of it, in one way, what GMA has become, because we want trust of people. And I think we have loved well as a big family movement. So when people are coming to us when there's catastrophe, and then we are building bridges to the true heroes on the front line, and people with resources, and that's what we are here, is to steward the people that are even watching right now. How can we there's all these opportunities to bring the good news, to bring the kingdom, and sometimes that looks like something. Sometimes that looks like food, medicine, tent for that family, flashlight, or sometimes that looks like a digital recording of the New Testament.
Gospel resources.
It does, yeah. So it looks like something for people. And it looks like something, including for a graduation class. I'm so proud of Dr. Marcus Feed and the team at Pakistan Theological College and Seminary, where we had over 200 people that graduated college, that graduated with master's degree, bachelor's degrees. In a culture we do not have that. And we had the Church of England or Anglican, we had Baptist, we had Methodist, Salvation Army, Catholic, 10 different denominations. They're sending their people to get educated theologically, to get rooted in the Word of God, so that these people can be on the front line. And I think it was 54 in a music college that graduated. And when I saw all of them last week, I sat there, I just wept, because I realized we get to be involved in something that is so much bigger than us.
Awesome. Yeah, it is so awesome. And a lot of people don't know that GMA has been in Pakistan for more than 20 years. And there is a music college. Dr. Marcus Fida, our director, was actually a musician for most of his life. That's such a fun little thing about him. We have the Pakistan Theological College and Seminary, where, like you were saying, 200 graduates just graduated from seminary that get to reach the least, less, and lost in their nation and beyond. We have over 940 church plants across Pakistan. And so we are just...
7-Star TV.
And 7-Star TV, which reaches over 1 million people every day in the Middle East. It broadcasts to every nation in the Near East and Middle East with the main languages of Urdu. I know Arabic's a part of that, and English as well. And you have a program actually on 7-Star TV that you talk about being upgraded in love, and also on identity messaging. And that's something that we really want to expand in this next year. Is we want to be able to translate more resources to encourage the church, to train the church. We want to be able to encourage the persecuted church there when they come together for the national conference. It would be amazing to be able to give them a book in Urdu or a training manual in Urdu, wouldn't it? That would be such a cool thing to do. And also to be able to provide basic necessities. So as this country is rebuilding in so many areas, we have the amazing privilege of helping people, and our partners have been so amazing in just being amazing partners with prayer, with giving, so that we can send tents, we can send food, we can translate messages, digital products in Urdu, so that people really are hearing the gospel of Christ. It is an amazing honor in Pakistan, and just like Cuba, the church is growing. It is, and we want to make sure that it's a vibrant church, that they are truly living from the inside out, right? It is an amazing privilege to build God's kingdom in Pakistan, and I would just love to hear from you. What is it that you believe that God is doing in the church in Pakistan today?
Now, first, I think that I just thought about while you were sharing there, the picture I feel that just came to my spirit is almost a lot of the people that are out there, they're giving us their little lunch box, little bread and fishes. And here in this office, we are actually feeding the multitudes with it. And then with the 12 baskets left over, we're finding other projects and other things to do. So I actually just sat, because I felt a little overwhelmed by just all these giants in the front of us and opportunities. And you feel you have all I have is some loaves and fishes. But then I just reflected. I just took my phone and I looked through pictures from this last year of everything that we have done and all the life that has been changed, the thousands of names that has been written in the Lamb's Book of Life, including in the middle of this devastating year in Pakistan or in Cuba or other places, Afghanistan. In the middle of it, how we are actually being a light in the middle of the darkness, developing lighthouses in the middle of it. And so my heart would be even in this setting, because God has given us uncommon favor, because for about 26, 27 years now that we're learning how to steward love pretty well. And we have now built trust, built relationship. And when they don't know what to do, they're coming to us, just like they came to Daniel, just like they came to Joseph, that knew that there's going to be a devastating season. And he saved the whole nation from starvation because of the wisdom that he prepared for some of the things to come. And we're realizing that the new relationship God's are giving us, even in regard to food, and we're going to have actually access to millions of portions of food this coming year, as we're doing one of the partnership. We have another one with these lighthouses of love multiplication, where the dream has been, and it seemed totally impossible, 1 million lighthouses of love. What do I mean by that? There would be homes that would be filled up of people that worship, pray, that having encounters with God that brings healing to their community. When people don't know what to do, they know where to go to meet a God that looks like Jesus, to ordinary people. Healthy fireplaces in every neighborhood that can host the fire of heaven, that are burning bright without burning out, and spreading fires all over the Middle East. So when that was a dream, it seems so out of the window. But just what I'm seeing, what God has done this year, it's almost like, oh, you're dreaming too small. It's like 1 million of those. I mean, if you had said 100 of those, it seems impossible. But when I'm seeing what God is doing and what God is up to and the relationship, He's setting us up for something that is much bigger than me, much bigger than us, and He's inviting every single one of us to be part of that. So I am very encouraged when I'm reflecting over this year, how we've been faithful with little, and now to see how God is entrusting us with more. So there are some true heroes over in Pakistan. They are tired, they are beaten, they've gone through a lot. There's been a lot of persecution, but right in the middle of it, Jesus is showing up. And we have an opportunity at that moment to represent a God that looks like Jesus to them. That's what we have done in the minor, in the small things, and especially this Christmas. I don't know if people are aware that the next thing we're about to do, and I've had the honor of being part of it before, but every year we're saying the greatest gift when Christmas comes along, and I have practiced this for over 20 years. So I remember when we didn't have much money, that my son wanted, I can't remember, it was one of these Nintendo games. But I didn't have any problem, but I had to choose, because Jesus will always get the most expensive gift, since it is His birthday. He don't mind me sharing with my wife and children, and I'm a giver. I love to give gifts. But I realize also that the greatest gift every year, we as a family have practiced, we're going to give to Jesus. Every year I ask Jesus, what do you want? Because He doesn't need anything. He owns it all. But I said, since it is your birthday, in honor of your birthday, what do you want this year? And I know Pakistan, Afghanistan, but especially the true heroes on the front line. Or what if they, even to have a relief, have a month of extravagant, having the food and the medicine they need, and to bless them, to be blessings to their neighborhood. I just started to dream of, what if 100,000, somebody writing a check. I started to dream about it. I talked to a friend yesterday. He said, what are you dreaming of? I said, somebody's going to write a check for $100,000, and we're throwing this big Christmas party. We're bringing the Sunni Muslim, Shia Muslim, Hindu, we're bringing them all together for a Jesus celebration. And then out of that very thing, our brothers and sisters that have suffered so much, we're going to give them also food packages, blessing, not just for them, but with abundance, so they can share with their neighbors, so they can share the good news, because in that world, the Christians are the lowest of the low. And then now when we are coming in and sharing abundance with them, and they can bring abundance to their Muslim neighbors and their friends, and to share the good news in the middle of this season, and say the reason we do that is because of Jesus, and we're celebrating His birth, so that you can experiencing to be born again, the new birth experience.
Yes, amen. And we want to invite you, friends, to join us in our giving campaign, The Greatest Gift. You can learn more details on how to give by reading the description of this video or the description of the podcast. And join us. We are throwing a huge party in December, actually, in just a few weeks, in Pakistan.
December 9th?
December 9th, that's right. So we are, if maybe it has already happened when we post this video, we'll see. But yes, your donations will help us throw this party, and it is such an extravagant event. It's going to be live streamed on YouTube. We'll be sure to share that with you all, so you can see our Muslim leaders also getting awards for the year. We give out peace and love awards at the Christmas party. It's so fun. as well as extravagant worship. And it's just such a fun time to bring everyone together in the Kingdom family.
Yeah, and I have had the honor of being part of a couple of them the last time we were there. And then we cut cake. So you have the top Shia Muslim, and then you have Christian, and we have the Sunni Muslim, and all standing around this big cake. And we're cutting the birthday cake of Jesus, and we feed each other as a tradition. So I fed the granny mom, and he was feeding me, and we're crossing, and we're around together, unifying the world. So all these things that God shows us, and I was just sitting and thinking about it. It was so amazing. The children came and presented, the children in front of all these Muslims, they presented the Jesus story, and they did a play in the front of them for them to see the extravagant of when God became flesh, when God actually came into this world, and how Jesus was born. And the children would describe it, and I could see the faces of them getting to hear the good news and the gospel. And I really do believe that everyone at least deserves one to hear about the good news. We are celebrating every day and have an opportunity we take this for granted that we are celebrating Jesus. But so many of these people out there, they never once heard the good news and the gospel story. This is what we do both in that big party, but also we're doing, as you said, through YouTube, through every other way, through television. We're going to get that message out to see the unity of all the religions coming, have an encounter with Jesus, and then spread the good news to the world. That makes me excited.
Yes, that sounds like the greatest Christmas present to Jesus, I think.
Oh, yeah, I would say. I think he's happy about it.
Yes, so please join us in throwing this Christmas party for Jesus in Pakistan. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you, Leif, so much for your time. I cannot wait to hear the testimonies and see the photos from the party.
We're going to send it out to them so you can see this is actually not a gift, it's an investment. So I want you to see the return on your investment when you see their faces.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you.